G'day Gear Junkies, Jason here. I was just shooting a video for my Patreon supporters about my deluxe Stratocaster, and while shooting it, it reminded me of my Big Strat Mistake. But before I begin, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe, and if you want to support this channel, you can go to the Middle Age Gear Junkie store and purchase some merchandise, or you can support me on Patreon where you'll have access to extra videos. Thanks. While you're listening to this video, if you could write a comment below and tell me what your big gear mistake was, that might help me feel a little less stupid. So going back to when I bought this guitar, my favorite pickup configuration on a guitar is HSS, or humbucker single. And yet you'll notice that my Stratocaster here has 3 single coils. Now the reason I chose this guitar was partially because I already had a couple of guitars at the time that had bridge humbuckers, but I didn't have a guitar at the time that had a single coil in the bridge position. So it meant that this guitar would have a point of difference amongst my other guitars at the time. So at the time, about 15 years ago, I was very conservative when it came to guitar tone. I never changed my amp settings because I had a tone that I liked and I left it that way. I was playing on the bridge pickup probably 75 or 80% of the time. So it was only natural that when I got a new guitar that I would slap it into the bridge pickup position and just go from there. And therein lies the root of this problem, because the bridge pickup on a Stratocaster is a very different beast to most other pickups. So as you do, when you buy a new guitar, you tend to play it a lot, which I did. Over the next 6 months, I hardly ever played my other guitars. But I started to roll off presence and treble from my amplifier, maybe subconsciously, probably to compensate for this really bright bridge pickup in the Stratocaster. You know, I feel really stupid saying this because, I mean, it's just so obvious, but then I'd plug in my other guitars and think there was something wrong with them. I couldn't put my finger on why they didn't sound like themselves. And really what I'd done was I'd altered my amp settings for a very particular pickup, and it made my other guitars sound incredibly dull as a result. Furthermore, I discovered that I really liked the neck pickup on this guitar, but I could never come up with a setting that sounded good on both the neck and bridge pickups because their characteristics were just so different from each other. But what I did find is that when I set up my tone around the neck pickup, that when I swapped guitars, that the settings sounded good across all my guitars, not just this one. So it was then that I decided to leave it set for the neck pickup, and that if I did use the bridge pickup, I would have to have a specific drive pedal set up for the bridge pickup, or I would have to alter my tone specifically if I was using that pickup. did a video about 6 months ago where I compared the differences of Stratocasters and Telecasters, and I was interested to find out that the bridge pickup on a Stratocaster, generally speaking, is actually brighter than that of a Telecaster, which is considered to be quite a twangy instrument. Next time I get this guitar serviced, I am going to get it modded so that I can allocate the second tone control to the bridge pickup. Because if you didn't know, the 2 tone pots on the Stratocaster are for the neck and middle pickups, not for the bridge pickup, and that's probably where it's needed the most. So in the comments below, let me know if you've made a similar mistake, or tell me about your big gear mistake, because I'd be really interested to know. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. You can support this channel by going to the Middle Aged Gear Junkie store and buying some merchandise, or you can support me through Patreon, where you'll have access to extra videos. Other than that, my name is Jason. Have a wonderful day. See you later.